Hi, good night, guys. Hope all is well. Um, Forgive me for how, you know, tired or fuzzed out a bit I appear, I should say. Um, Hope all is well. I just wanted to do a video as to just to point out some of my major challenges now trying to pursue dentistry after medicine. Uh, so I'm working and I'm studying, and where I work, I'm actually self-employed, and it's self-employed at a new business. No, I didn't intend for it to be like that, but that's just how it ended up being. Like I originally was working at a health center, which is primary care, and it was difficult because what was happening is that I had to work during the hours that I would have class. Dentistry is one of those things you have to attend near 100% of the classes, so I had to leave that job. Just prior to leaving that job, I was offered a job working calls for ENT. What I did not know was that when I left my job, which was the primary care job, um, it's controlled by a governing body. So when I left that job, I actually left that governing body. So the place that I was going to do calls for with ENT, they were unable to pay me. So they thought that when I left that job, that I would still be employed with a governing body, and were going to pay me. So in the end, I ended up doing a call, one single call, August 1st, and the person I was working with said to make sure you know who was paying you. And when I went and investigated, no one knew who was paying me. So that was not no one, but I mean the place that I was working at, like I said, thought that the governing body for the place I previously worked was going to pay me, and they themselves, as in the place that I was working at now, for the ENT calls, they were unable to facilitate me at the time. So I had already started a doctor's office, or a GP doctor's office, which is what the Americans would call family care. But family care is very challenging if you're starting out from scratch, and I was starting out from scratch. So that has left me in a bit of a tiz was, as it was. So I'm trying to get this to come off the ground, as it were. And I'm finding a lot of challenges from the point of view of just balancing time, because for one, there's so few patients. So when there are few patients, it means that I spend a lot of time in the office just sitting down waiting. So I try to study in between them. When there are patients, um, it takes some time, because it depends on what they have. You can spend upwards from 15 to an hour to 2 hours talking to a patient or trying to find out what's going on with the patient. Um, Working and studying is never easy. I know I'm not the first person, and I know I'm not the last person. To be quite honest, I think I would prefer if my business was doing better, because then the worry of finances would leave my mind, as opposed to not having any patience and then still worrying about finances. I don't know if I explain myself properly. It's like when you're studying for a degree, when you have to think of how to fund it, that's more stressful to me than if you know how you're going to fund it. The money's coming through, but you just have to work to get it. So right now, I'm prepared to work, but I'm here actually at work right now. It's now, I think it's like 7:10, and I'm 7:10 December 11th, and I'm trying to. I'm waiting on a patient right now actually, because she set an appointment at 7 o'clock. But sometimes patients set appointments. You can call sometimes and they might not answer. So you know, so I'm here waiting, and I have an exam tomorrow, and I had an exam today. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. So another thing that's challenging with working and studying is keeping up with assignments. So there's about 4 assignments this semester alone that I had to rush and hand in to make sure that they were on time. One of them, so say for instance, in the last week, which was the week before last, there were 7 assignments, and of those 7 assignments, I had to hand in one rushed, which some would say 6 of 7 is not bad, but one of them was rushed, and you don't want to hand in any assignments rushed. You need all the grades that you need. So that's been a challenge, and I can't say I've been on top of my work. I can't say that. So even this test that I had today, this weekend was kind of busy. So I was doing blogs, kind of just in between watching my kids, just trying to, de-stress a bit. But literally, I got most of my studying done was for the test today was done last night. So from about 6 in the evening straight through to the morning, I slept for an hour and I went straight to my exam. The exam was tough. I hope I pulled through, but it was tough. But it couldn't have been anything else but tough because I didn't get to read through all the lectures, and that is another thing too because I have kids, and I'm not blaming this on kids at all because I want to train my kids for the world, but you have to find a way to balance your time. Your time when you're working and studying and have a family, you have to find a way to make sure you keep up with everything, and that is a big challenge. No, it's not that it can't be done, but it calls for cooperation too. So when my kids went to sleep or asleep, I tried to study. Although last night my daughter was up all until 5 o'clock in the morning. She was up. Well, no, about 4:35. She was up, and then she just went into her bed. So she was up studying with me. So I mentioned my funding, working and studying, keeping up with assignments, family and friends. I'm terrible with keeping up with friends, and that's the truth, and family too. The person that I mostly chat with on a day-to-day basis, outside of my wife, is my mom. I'm my sister. I try to keep up with my brother as well too. He's very busy as well too. My sister's very busy, so I try that as well too. What do I do for fun to kind of de-stress? I'll show you this after I finish these exams. So I'm going to try to go back into the gym because I've been really stressed this year. In between the loss of one of my parents and just managing school, the stress of school, the adjustment to school, making sure the assignments were going in. I haven't been doing too bad. That's the thing though. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm just saying, despite the fact that I was drowning, I still managed to keep my nose just above the water so that I survived a bit, Doesn't mean I'm not going to drown, but I have to make sure I don't drown. So I have to, start putting some more effort in, which I have been. I've been trying really hard, getting to class early, which was a big issue with the faculty. But it was really hard to get to class early before, because like I said, I was working. And when you're working, I was working from 8 to 4. I tried to slip away at about 3:30, and class finishes at 4:30. So by the time I leave to go down to the class is nearly finished. In one instance, one of the lecturers just literally, she got up and locked the door. So I mean, it didn't really make any sense trying to keep that job and work. I've been looking for ways to fund this degree for the longest time. So as this business takes off, I'll keep you posted and let you know how it's been going. But just know it's been rough. Very, very rough. I have core radiology tomorrow, and I had oral biochemistry and physiology today. These are final exams for the semester 1 of the third year. Oral biochemistry and physiology was a bit it was tough, and it was tough because the details that were required in the exam, I don't think I would have. Even if I read everything, I don't think I would have processed those details. There were some things that came back to me naturally because of my training before, but even then, the details that were required they were a lot. Core radiology is tomorrow, and it's a viva, meaning that it's an oral. So hopefully that goes well. I haven't done any studying for it just yet, because like I said, I'm here at the office. Look around, you can see the doctor's bed. This is the front room. I'm actually here by myself at the office. That's the dental area here, and this is the doctor's area here. So hope this helps. I'll do a video if you want on ways of going about funding the degree. I'm constantly trying to search for ways. Hope you guys are well. Hear you later.